You're the only locksmith the criminal elite trust, which means you can open every door in the city. This is you. 3 in the morning, kneeling in front of a vault door thicker than a man, in the back of a jewelry house that doesn't officially exist, with a stethoscope pressed to cold steel and 4 very dangerous men breathing behind you. 1 wrong click and they lose a fortune. 1 right click and you've just proven, again, that there is no door in this city that stays shut when you decide it opens. They think they hired a technician. They have no idea they've handed the keys to the kingdom to the one man who keeps a copy of everything. Rewind. You learned the trade honest. Apprenticed to an old man who smelled of graphite and machine oil, who taught you that a lock is just a little puzzle that's been told to keep a secret, and a good locksmith is just a man who's better at the puzzle than the secret. You were the best he ever trained, and being the best at a small, honest trade in the city gets you exactly nowhere. A van, a debt, a phone that rings at dinner for people locked out of their cars. Until the night a man with 2 nice shoes calls you to open a safe that very much isn't his, in a house that very much isn't his, and pays you in an hour what you make in a month, with a look that says there's more where that came from, and a warning that says you never saw his face. That's when you learn the rules. Rule 1. The people with the most to hide need the most locks, which means they need you most of all. Rule 2. Every lock you open and every lock you install teaches you the shape of a secret. Rule 3. The one that turns the tumblers in your skull. A locksmith doesn't just open doors. He's the only man alive who knows which doors are worth opening. Stage 1. You go where the money is, and the money is dirty. You become the discreet guy. The one the high-end thieves call to crack a competitor's safe, the one the crooked businessmen call to install a panic room, the one the bent cops call when they need into a place without a warrant or a witness. And you notice fast that none of these people see you. You're a tradesman, a function, a pair of hands with a tension wrench. They talk freely over your bent head. Because the locksmith doesn't count, the locksmith won't remember, the locksmith is basically furniture with a toolbox. So you start counting. Every safe you crack, you know what's inside before they tell you to look away. Every panic room you build, you remember the layout. Every lock you install, you understand exactly how it fails. The lesson clicks into place like a pin under a pick. Invisibility is the only disguise that never slips. Stage 2. A note on a pad is nothing. You need the real edge, and the real edge is this. Every lock you install, you can install twice. When the paranoid art smuggler hires you to fit his gallery with the best locks money can buy, you fit them. And you keep a master, a key, a code, a little flaw only you know how to exploit. You're not robbing him. You'd never. You're just making sure that of all the doors in this city, the ones owned by the most dangerous, most secretive men are the ones you can open any night you please. You become the city's premier security expert, precisely because you're its premier insecurity expert. Every fortress you build has a ghost in it, and the ghost answers to you. The lesson seats itself cold and certain. The strongest lock in the world is only as honest as the man who said it. Stage 3. Then a client gets clever. A crime boss with a long memory realizes that the man who built his vault could unbuild it, and decides the safest thing is a dead locksmith. He sends 2 men to your shop with friendly smiles and bad intentions. You don't run, and you don't fight. You out-engineer him. You let it be known, quietly, through the right mouths, that you keep a dead man's box. A record of every vault, every panic room, every back door you've ever built for every dangerous man in the city, set to spill to all their enemies and all the cops the day you stop checking in. You've turned yourself into a lock that mustn't be broken, because breaking you opens every other door at once. The boss calls off his men and sends an apology in cash. You didn't beat him with a weapon. You made yourself too expensive to kill. And the lesson turns over with a heavy, satisfying clunk. The safest man in a dangerous trade is the one whose death detonates. Stage 4. Now you stop selling labor and start selling access. Because you've realized the keys you've been quietly copying are worth 1,000 times more than the jobs that earned them. A crew wants into a rival's safe house? You happen to have built it. For a fee, you remember the Flaw. A businessman needs to know what his partner keeps in the office safe? You installed it. For a bigger fee, you go in at night and photograph it, and the man never knows his door was ever opened. You become a broker of entry, the silent partner in every heist, the invisible third man in every betrayal, never holding the loot, never near the crime, just selling the one thing every plan needs, a way in. And you etch the rule into the brass of your mind. Don't take what's in the room. Sell the doorway every single time. Stage 5. You climb past thieves into the towers. A senator keeps a safe behind a portrait. A bank president keeps a private box no auditor knows exists. A judge keeps a ledger of favors and a wall he thinks is solid. These are the men who run the city in daylight, and at night their secrets sit behind locks, and you build locks. So you start collecting the powerful the way you collected the criminals, one fortress at a time, until you hold a copy of access to the bedrooms and back offices of the people who decide everything. You don't blackmail them. Blackmail is loud and final. You just let them learn, gently, that their security consultant noticed something during a routine upgrade, and that he's a very discreet man, and that discretion has a standing fee. You become the silent landlord of every secret in the skyline, and the lesson sits heavy as a vault door swinging shut. The men who lock the most away are the men with the most to lose when someone holds the key. Stage 6. One weakness remains. You're still one man with one set of hands, and hands get old, get caught, get killed. So you build a guild. You take on apprentices, the hungriest and quietest, and you train them the way the old man trained you, except you keep the most important lesson for yourself. You teach them to copy keys, and you teach them to forget faces, but you make every flaw they build route back to you. Soon, every high-end lock installed in the city by any of your people has the same ghost in it, and the ghost still answers to one master. You stop being a locksmith and become the keeper of the city's keys. Every door, every vault, every secret room, all of it quietly opening, in the end to you. And the final rule slides home. Don't be the man with the key. Be the man who decides who gets to be a locksmith. And one night, standing in your shop surrounded by walls of blanks and tools worn smooth by your own hands, you understand you've made it. This is the peak. There is not a vault in this city you cannot open, not a panic room you cannot enter, not a secret behind a steel door that is truly safe from you. The crime bosses and the senators and the bank kings all sleep behind locks they paid you to build, never dreaming that the same hands have a way through everyone. You came up a tradesman with a van and a debt, and you turned the humblest skill in the city, opening the small puzzles men use to feel safe, into ownership of every secret worth keeping. You learned the one thing the powerful never do. They think the lock protects the treasure, when really the lock just tells the locksmith exactly where the treasure is. Here's where the mechanism slips, and it slips because of you. Because a man who can open every door starts to believe no door can ever close on him, and that's precisely the man who walks into the one room that locks from the outside. You get proud. You stop checking your own shop, stop varying your routine, stop assuming that the trick you use on everyone could be used on you. You keep the dead man's box too long and too whole, one master record of every flaw you ever built, because you've come to love it as a trophy more than you fear it as a liability. You spend a lifetime learning that every lock has a flaw, and forgot that you too are a lock, and your flaw is the box. The man who can open anything always forgets to lock the one door that matters, his own. The fall comes from the apprentice. The best you ever trained, the quiet one with the quick hands who reminded you of yourself at the workbench, the one you trusted with the real lessons. He learned everything, the copying, the forgetting, the ghost in the wall. What he learned best was the lesson you taught with the dead man's box, that whoever holds the master record holds the whole city by the throat. And one ordinary Tuesday, while you're out cracking somebody else's vault, he cracks yours. He finds the box. The original, the whole thing, every flaw in every fortress you ever built. Now he doesn't need to open your doors one at a time. He's holding the master key to the master key holder. Every apprentice you teach to pick a lock eventually looks at the one you're standing behind. So now it's tonight. The climax. You come back to your shop and the lights are on that you didn't leave on, and he's sitting at your bench with your box open in front of him, calm, the way you taught him to be calm. He lays it out clean. He has the record. He's already made copies. Of course he has. You taught him that too. And he offers you the only 2 doors left in a building you thought had 1,000. 2 choices, and the tumblers don't care which. Door 1, you walk away. You hand him the trade, the guild, the keys to the city, and you disappear into some small town where the locks are honest and nobody knows your hands, and you live out your days as just a man who's good with puzzles, flinching every time a stranger asks you to open something. You live. You just stop being the master and become one more locked-out customer at the door of the life you built. Door 2. You don't walk. You've got one key he doesn't know about. A single secret so radioactive, behind a door so high that even he wouldn't dare open it, the kind of vault that comes with funerals attached. You go to war with the boy you made, in the city whose every door bends to you, and you find out whether the man who taught everyone to pick locks can still beat the one student who learned too well. Maybe you win it all back. Maybe you learn that the locksmith, in the end, dies in the only cell he forgot to build a flaw into, the empty hands, or the last key, the quiet exit or the open war. Your dead man's box is sitting on the bench between you, lit up, and the boy is turning a single blank key over and over in the light, slow, like a tumbler deciding whether to fall. You make the call. That's a wrap for today. I'll be dropping more stories like this soon. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.